I have a dream.
It's one small step for man.
I am the greatest.
You want something, go get it. Period.
You know, when you're allowing your mind to think like this might be something we do, then you're not really actually going to be 100% into it. There's actually nothing that would make me stop doing this because I want to help people so badly that. But there's been so many times where I've had to like push myself past the comfort zone and just like do what I didn't want to do. That doesn't matter. Like no matter where you're starting from, like you have your own challenges, you have your own mental challenges, physical challenges, and like pushing past those, no matter the starting point, is hard. But if you want to, you can.
What's up, my fellow dreamers, doers, achievers? This is episode number 18 of the Dream Big & Co. podcast. And on this one, not only is it the first episode of Season 2 in 2019, but through the connecting of the dots, I was able to sit down and ask questions to the guest for today's episode. She is someone who is literally going through the journey right now and building the momentum to create the life she envisions, the life she wants. And it is great to see the altruism at play and the person of service she is being. So in this episode, she also creates value and provides insight for most of you. So I know you will appreciate this one. But in keeping it relevant and moving on, the quote for today's episode is, when you create one opportunity for yourself, oftentimes that opportunity will create more opportunities. Ramit Sethi. And to give a little splurge about the sponsor for today's episode, it is, as you know, it's Stu United. Stu United, for those who don't know from previous episodes, are new listeners, or are hearing it for the first time now, is an app and service that connects students based on what they're good at and what they need help in. High school, college, grad students, whatever it may be, whoever you are, the ultimate goal is to increase the efficiency of students and build deeper connections, enhance their academics, but also enhance their life, their network, their connections. So it's been a year and a half since Stu United started this venture, and they're growing from a startup to a company in providing true value. So it's great to see. And if you want to check further into what they're doing, you can look them up on the App Store, STUNITED. You can look them up on social media at Stu United App, and even their website at StuUnitedApp.com. But most importantly, in talking about our episode for today, the guest we have is Nicole Fit, Kelly Ross. And as you will see, there was a lot of ebbs and flows, ups and downs, discomfort Kelly had to go through in her life thus far, but it's built her into the person she is. And the great thing about it is she sees everything as an opportunity for growth. And she not only helps people in the physical aspects of their life, but also the mental aspects of their life. And the most important part in being on the Dream Big & Co. podcast is she literally is laying out the blueprint for those venturing down something they truly want to create, a passion they want to manifest, and a purpose they want to live by. So don't only listen to what she's saying, but watch what she is doing. She is truly special, and I truly appreciate her being on the podcast. So this is episode number 18 of the Dream Big & Co. podcast with Kelly Ross, a.k.a. Kelly Nicole Fit. We'll start right away. I just want to introduce you. I'm sitting here with Kelly Nicole Ross. You just want to introduce yourself, where you're from, where you're up to now, and then we'll get into everything and expand people's awareness on, what you're doing, what you're up to.
All right, so I am from New Jersey. I'm currently in school. I'm a senior. I'm studying marketing and journalism. And then I obviously have my fitness Instagram that I'm very passionate about, and a lot of my time is dedicated to that at the moment.
Yeah. So you started that about 2 years ago?
Yeah, the account, yeah.
Yeah. And what was that first spark? Like, what made you want to get into that and, like, start this journey?
So, I had been lifting at that point for, like, a year and a half, kind of. And a lot of my friends and people I had known were reaching out to me, being like, what are you doing? Like, you look great, all this stuff. So, I decided to make it, and it was mostly just a friends thing. So, I kept it on private. I had, like, literally, like, a black screen for the icon because I was so scared people would find it. The name was not Kelly Nicole Fit. It was, like, some random name. And I was, like, at that point, it was mostly just for friends and family. And then my sister and I, we went to the gym one day, and we recorded a leg day that we did. And she was like, I'll send this to you if you make your account public. And I was so scared, but she was like, you just should do it. Like, people should see what you're doing. So I made it public, and then from there, it's been, just growing. But
so thank God to your sister for, like, pushing you along.
Yeah, without her, I honestly, like, I don't know when it would have ever gone public. So.
Yeah, and when you first started, did you get any pushback or, like, ridicule from people? Or, like, I want to ask, one of the main things is, like, do you get that from people now as you're, like, going through this journey?
That was definitely the thing that scared me the most was I always felt like, well, are people going to think, like, I have enough authority to be making this account? Or, people going to make fun of me? What are people going to say when they see it? So that was the thing that held me back for so long from making it public, was I was so scared of, like, what people were going to think. And when I did make it public, I knew, like, people were making fun of me. Like, my friends, when we would, like, drink or whatever, like, then it would all come out and they'd be like, oh, yeah, Kelly Nicole Fit, like, make fun of me. But it's gotten to the point now where I think I've proven that this is not just, like, some stupid, fun little thing. Like, I actually am serious about it. It's, like, my passion. I love helping people. That it's been a lot. Like, I don't hear any ridicule anymore. Maybe it's there silently. I don't really know, but I don't really care anymore either.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's like turning that hobby into a career, which is what the point you're at now.
Right.
And then I saw you posted something. It was, like, way in the archives. It was like, never make fun of someone's passion because that's what saves them from the world. So was this beyond just, like, creating, like, a fitness page? Like, did it actually, like, fitness itself, did it, like, save you from a lot of things, like maybe mental issues or, like, anything going on in your life, like an outlet?
My freshman year of college, like, that first semester, I was not lifting at all. I was doing just cardio, and at home before school, I was doing the Stairmaster, and we didn't have a Stairmaster at school, so I just started running a ton. And then I ran so much that I got a stress fracture, and I was on crutches. And, like, obviously in that moment, that sucks. And, like, you don't think there's any good coming out of that, like, being on crutches and not being able to work out. Like, I thought this is the worst thing that could happen to me. Yeah. But because of that, I realized I couldn't be running like this. Like, this is just insane. I can't run this much. That I started to look into other things, and I found a bunch of influencers who were lifting, and I just kind of learned from them. And when I was learning from them, I was, like, really not in a good place. Like, I was not happy with myself or anything. I wasn't, not just, like, not confident in, like, my body, I guess, but just not confident in, like, I didn't know what I deserved, like, even from other people. I would let people talk down on me and everything. And it's crazy that just, like, picking up weights could, like, change that, but it does. Yeah. And, yeah, so it's my passion. It's definitely saved me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what do you think now, like, these past 2 years, is it more of intrinsic motivation, or is it the people that follow you that really push you along when, I'm sure at times, have you wanted to, like, give up at all or stop?
I've actually thought about this a couple times. Like, Instagram's just annoying with their algorithm sometimes, and, like, it can get frustrating when posts aren't being seen or whatever, and I get really, like, down about it just because it's like, I want to help people, and people don't see it. It frustrates me. But then I always think to myself, like, there's actually nothing that would make me stop doing this because I want to help people so badly that that's all it is. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it because it's just, like, what I love to do. Yeah. But in terms of, like, my own workouts, it is just, like, myself that motivates me. But posting content and stuff is, everyone else, their feedback, it always helps me.
Yeah, what is one, if I could ask, if you want to get into that, like, one of the best testimonials or, like, feedback you got from one person where it's like, oh my God, my life has changed because of...
There's been a couple. I mean, the lower body challenge I'm doing now, I've had 2 groups do it. Well, there's one group doing it now. The group before, the one that finished, there are a couple people who are just, like, literally, like, you changed my life. Like, I never knew that I could do this or that, this was something that I would even want to do, and I'm so thankful for you. Like, I really could not even say it enough. And, like, that kind of feedback just means so much. And if I never created this account, I would have never helped people like that, you know. And if I never, even just the challenge itself, I had tried other fitness guides that like failed. Nobody bought them. If I just said, okay, then I'm just not meant to do this, I'm just not going to do it, then I wouldn't have even helped those few people that I have already. So I think just like keep pushing through failures is just really important to do.
Yeah, and one thing with you is in your growth, you're so consistent, and being consistent is a major part of any success. So what advice would you have for some people who maybe are giving in too easily or giving up right away, and you're someone who's going through it where you're consistent all the time?
I think I always say this to the people doing my challenge too, is people, so they want to say when they want something, they'll be like, I hope I can get that, or I think I can do that. You know, when you're allowing your mind to think like this might be something we do, then you're not really actually going to be 100% into it. If you tell yourself, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to feel better, I'm going to get whatever you want, then you're going to work for it 100%, and you're going to always be consistent with it. Even when it's hard, even when you feel like you're failing, you're still going to work for it because you are going to get it, and you told yourself you would.
Yeah.
So like that's my whole thing right now, is like doing what you said you would and not being I think, or, you know, I hope, because then you're just allowing your subconscious to like give up.
Yeah, changing the questions you ask yourself.
Right, yeah. And it's such a big, like, the way you talk to yourself is such a big part of it. And like, I know you could say, well, you have to make sure you're eating properly and all, yeah, that all matters, but you'll figure that out along the way if you just tell yourself that you will figure it out. And, you know, I think people get so like frustrated because they don't know how to do it, but that's not what matters. Just starting is what matters, like believing.
Are you into reading at all, by any chance? Yeah, I'm reading The Art of Possibility, and it kind of talks about that in a way where it's like, I think for me, I'm very practical and goals are important, but it's another realm of like, just let things flow and like let things work themselves out, because it will if you just believe it will.
Right, exactly.
So I know you're big into that, and a lot of people can use that more in their life.
Yeah.
And also with what you mentioned, like counting macros and all that, I know a lot of people fall off the path when it's like they're doing it so hard, and then they're just like, oh, I can't do it because it's like way too stressful or way too strict. So what do you do for your like daily routine, or like, because you're really in a spot where you're like consistent and your macros are, I know you're hitting them like perfectly probably, and like you're really in a good spot with your workout. So what do you have for people who like fall off track with doing that in terms of like working out?
I think the biggest thing is when people fall off track, they think it's like over, you know. So like I'm not 100% perfect every single day, and there will be days or even a week where life is just crazy and I can't like focus too much on working out and nutrition. But I think some people let that be the end, but it doesn't have to be. Like there's that saying where it's like, if one tire goes out, it's not like you're going to slash all the other three. You know, it's just one tire and you can still keep moving. But I think that's what people need to remember too, is like, they just get bogged down. They think like you have to be perfect and 100% on point every single day, otherwise you'll never get to where you need to be, which is just not true. So I think just keep moving, like get back to it, like take it slowly and you'll get there. Yeah.
And for me, like I'm not like a big fitness person, but for obviously exercise and working out is big for me, and living a healthy lifestyle. And for me, I realize it's more of moderation and not being so strict on myself, and like having a balance. Are you more of a person to live in moderation and balance and like live in the flow of your life, or are you very like extreme in doing things?
I guess it depends like what we're talking about. Like, I don't know, I like balance moderation more. When I first started working out, when I first started lifting, I was really extreme with it. I'd make sure I get to the gym every like 6 days a week and only one rest day, like all that. And I'm at a point now where it's more just like moderation and balance, and I work out for less amount of time now than I used to. I see better results. Like I think it's more just letting yourself like find that balance like in your life with working out and with family and everything. Like even my Instagram now, sometimes I let it like take over my life a little bit. It's a little frustrating. And my mom like sometimes gets annoyed at me. She's like, you know, you're with your family, just like put your phone away. I'm like, okay, just one more second, just have to reply to one more comment. But like I think finding the balance is definitely key to whatever it is you're after in life, you know, because if you're too extreme with it, then there will be one point where it's just not feasible anymore. You know?
That's like the same thing with thoughts though. It's not even just your life, but like having the like middle mindset up here, so you don't want to fall off track. But going into it with actual like workout stuff, what is your, I'll do some rapid fire questions. What is your favorite exercise now, if you have to pick one? And then what is your favorite meal? And then what is your favorite cheat meal? So I'm sure you have favorites when doing all those.
My favorite exercise right now is probably hip thrust.
Hip thrust.
Yeah.
You want to explain that to people who might not know?
So basically you have a barbell and you have weights on each side of the barbell. And a hip thrust is actually a relatively new exercise. This guy, Brett Contreras, he's on Instagram. If you want to look him up, he's called the Glute Guy.
It's like what The Rock does?
Yeah. And he does it because of this guy. He came up with the hip thrust. And there's another one called the glute bridge, which the glute bridge are on the floor, the hip thrust are on the bench. So he came up with them, and people have started doing it like literally around the world, and it's really great for like overall growth, but also just for strength in other lifts like squats and deadlifts. So that's definitely my favorite one. Favorite meal, you said?
Favorite meal.
Food. Okay. Like what kind? Like,
or
if I'm being healthy?
Yeah, we'll go if you're healthy, and then we'll go into cheat meal where it's like I kind of want to binge, and it's Sunday.
Healthy, probably like a Mexican bowl. I love doing that. Or actually, oatmeal. I also love my oatmeal. Protein oatmeal.
Oatmeal with the peanut butter in there.
I make the best oatmeal. And then cheat meal, probably just like pizza or pasta.
Okay. And have you always been into cooking and stuff? Because I know you make a lot of recipes and you do stuff on your YouTube channel. Has it always been like that, or just recently?
No, I think because when I first started like living a healthy lifestyle, I was so extreme with it. Like I thought I couldn't eat like anything besides chicken and broccoli and like all these extremes. And then when I started counting macros, I started realizing like, oh wait, like if I fit it into what I have to eat, then I can make the things I want, like just in the certain portion sizes. So I started making like little tiny pizzas on like flatbreads and stuff, and I was like, this is so good. And like people are thinking they just have to eat chicken all day. Like you don't have to do that. So when I started realizing that you can have good food just in certain portion sizes, like for your own goals, and I want to share that. So that's kind of where all that came from.
And going beyond just like working out, your entire brand goes into a bigger picture with you donating 10% of all profits you make to Alzheimer's Association. And I know if you really want to get deep into it and delve into it, I know your grandma passed away from Alzheimer's, correct? And I know your uncle's going through stuff with cancer right now.
Right, yeah.
So how much is that like pushing you forward in doing all of this?
So like I kind of consider my grandma like my why, I guess, because I do think you need like some deep reason to continue what you're doing if you want to push through any type of failure, any type of hard times. So my grandma was like the most positive person like I've ever met in my life. Like she was never sad, never thought she had a bad situation. She never would even admit she had Alzheimer's because she didn't want people to feel bad for her. And she always lived her life with so much passion, so much love. And when she, when Alzheimer's was taking over and she was like being stripped of herself, I just kind of looked at that as like Alzheimer's runs in my family really bad. Her 4 siblings have it or have died from it. Her mom died from it. So I look at that, I'm like, that could be me one day. Like, I don't know. Alzheimer's could happen to me. And why would I live my life right now in a 9-to-5, like working for somebody else, like forgetting my actual true self just to like maybe realize it one day at retirement when I could get to retirement and have Alzheimer's and I'm not even myself anymore, So she's just like my purpose to just live with passionately and with love and just helping other people as much as I can every day, because you never really know what's going to happen. What's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen like whenever. So that's why I donate 10%. And then my uncle, he is going through it now and he's not even retired yet. He's still working and he's always been the saver. He's not going to use his money because he's going to one day retire and he's going to use his money. And he might not even get to retirement now, So like they're just, obviously it's terrible what's happening to them or what happened to my grandma, but I think we need like using bad situations as a lesson is like really important. I could just look at it and be like, this sucks, there's nothing good about this, but if I can learn from it, if my parents can learn from it, if my siblings can learn from it, then that's important. And they just like really push me every single day, like when I remember.
Yeah, and like we said, like playing in reverse, like looking back and not having that regret.
Right.
I think that's a big player into everything I do as well.
Right.
And then also taking everything as the same token, where most people view stuff as like good and bad, where it's actually just if there can be a term for the same thing, you know what I mean? Because you just have to take it how it is and move forward with it. And then I want to ask you, what short-term goals do you have now, and then what long-term goal do you want to accomplish within this 2019?
Okay, so short-term goals. I want to come out with merchandise.
Ooh.
Which I already did something, but I'm not going to say it because it's not out
Secret.
yet. But, so that's like kind of my 2019 goal, and then pushing this challenge to a version 2 and just getting more people to join it, and maybe some other, like, just little guys that people can buy with who don't have enough of an income to get the challenge or to join the challenge.
Can you talk about the challenge for
Yeah.
a sec? Because I'm sure when they hear from you, they're going to want to join, or
Right.
just so people can know what you're doing.
So it's an 8-week challenge, and it's focused on lower body muscle growth. It's for really anybody, whatever goals they have. It's like completely customizable, which if you join the challenge, you'd be able to see like throughout the guide. But there's a nutrition section and a workout section. And the nutrition section just focuses on like sort of like a meal plan for your goals. If you want to count macros, it tells you how to do that, how to calculate them, all that kind of stuff. And then just tips about going out to eat and all those types of things. And then the workouts, obviously have the workouts, but then it also tells you, it explains why you're doing what you're doing. Because I think so many people just follow these Instagrams and like these workouts and they just do it and they're like, okay, but I don't know why I did that, you know?
So the breakdown.
Yeah, so explaining it so that they can take what they've learned in the 8 weeks and like go forth and do it themselves if they want to, or I mean, they could continue the guide, do it all over again, but just giving them the tools to understanding like how to build their own workouts from there on. So then it's 3 workouts a week. 1 is optional, 2 are obviously mandatory, and then at the end of the 8 weeks, they will send me both their beginning and their end transformation pictures, and people get prizes if they've won.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they'll get some merchandise eventually in
Yeah.
2019 if they win here.
One day soon.
And instead of asking the long-term question first, I want to ask, I know you're big on the transformations, and it's actually amazing to see your growth. So would you want to talk about like your transformation and how that helps you, and then seeing other people?
So I guess I have a couple different kinds of transformations I could talk about. Like one point in my life, I was unhealthy in the way that I was like, I would do cardio 5 days a week, and when I say cardio, it was like 45 minutes on the Stairmaster, 5 days a week, and like barely eating. Like I would have 3 meals a day, and if I was hungry past that, I was like, I don't care, I'm not eating. Like, so I was like really, really unhealthy and like skinny. And when I compare pictures from like then to now, like the amount of muscle growth is obviously like cool to see, but just the amount of like mental growth and like just realizing that your body is not just something that you should constantly change. Like it's functioning, and it's like letting you do things throughout the day, like think and breathe and everything, and like taking care of your body is so important. So like starving it is just stupid. I don't know why I ever did that. But I just viewed it as just like something to look at, not just like something that's actually functioning. So that's like one transformation picture I usually take from. And then I guess like sort of the time when I was in college when I like gained a little bit more weight, I compare it to then to just kind of show people like it doesn't matter where you're starting from. Like you can change.
Exactly.
Like you can get where you want to go. And like I think people always try to say that. They're like, well, you were never like fat. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. Like no matter where you're starting from, like you have your own challenges, you have your own mental challenges, physical challenges, and like pushing past those, no matter the starting point, is hard. But if you want to, you can.
Yeah. Everyone's on their own path.
Right.
For 100%.
Right.
And there was one question I wanted to ask, which, that's what it was. I know we're going down a bunch of different paths here, but I'm sure everyone can stay on track. Having it be more of a mental journey than a physical journey is the one thing I really wanted to ask you. Because obviously your whole fitness page, brand, everything is physical.
Right.
But I feel it's more so mental, and I'm sure your journey, you have learned like a crap load.
Right.
And you've been through a lot that has made you like the callus in your mind really tough.
I think like when you look back, you can see like the cause and effect of everything, and it's like crazy to look back and see that, but when you're in it, it doesn't feel like it's like a cause and effect type of thing. But there's been so many times where I've had to like push myself past the comfort zone and just like do what I didn't want to do. Between like making the account, between in the beginning, first starting to lift, like getting myself into the gym and like walking over to the weights, obviously was terrifying. Like nobody ever wants to do things they're scared to do, but you only change when you're uncomfortable. So like that was scary in itself, but I had to trust myself, I had to believe myself, and that's what I did. And from there, then I continued, and then I was comfortable again. And then I made the account, and I was uncomfortable again, and it changed. And then I was comfortable again, and then I made it public, and I was uncomfortable. And it's just this continued process of making yourself uncomfortable and doing things that are scary, and you don't know how they're going to end up, and just believing in yourself. I mean, like, the physical growth was crazy, but the mental growth is so much more important.
And then one last question, which we always ask at the end. It's like the end all be all is, what is your big dream for not only this brand and everything you're doing, but life in general? Like one thing you really want to accomplish before you leave this earth.
Well, with this brand, I guess in general, I want to make sure, or not make sure, but I want to be able to do it full time, like as a career, and not have to do things like work for other people. But at the same time, my like biggest dream is to just help as many people as I can, and not just help people physically and like with their muscle growth goals or whatever, but mentally, and get into the place where they're like their best selves and they're like the most positive and always changing and always ready for a new challenge type of person. And with that, just donating back as much as I can to all different types of causes that mean a lot to me.
For sure. And most importantly, so people can follow you on your journey and obviously maybe tag along, get some meal plans, and follow the 8-week journey if they want to join. What is your social media, both like YouTube, Instagram?
So YouTube
Facebook,
and Instagram are both Kelly Nicole Fit. I have a Facebook, but it's not really like updated, so I'll leave that one out.
Yeah.
And
Kelly Nicole Fit, cool. And KellyNicoleFit.com for sure to check out the website. Okay, awesome. Thank you for doing
Thanks
this.
for having
I appreciate you. Welcome back, my people. Thank you for listening to episode number 18 with the awesome Kelly Nicole Fit. If you enjoyed this episode and what we are doing at Dream Big & Co., it would mean a whole bunch, if you can become more involved with our community. You can do so by subscribing to this podcast on the 11 podcasting platforms we distribute on, our channel on YouTube at Dream Big & Co., which we're starting a new series called Dream Talk, where we talk to random people, strangers of our everyday lives, but instead of small talk, we go deep into Dream Talk and talking about people's aspirations, dreams, goals, and even, if you would like, follow us on social media at Dream Big & Co., where we're posting daily. That will all be in the show notes if you would like to click the link there. But most importantly, we do this for you to provide value to you in your life. So if you hated something, appreciated something, just want to give us some type of thanks, you can reach out and email us at dreambigandco@gmail.com, or even rate this episode and leave a review. Even message Kelly, message me, whatever you would like. But have a great one and crush your 2019. I will see you on the next episode.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.